PD cop, he grabs my arm, this arm here, and he puts the cuff on. So he's telling me to put my phone down so he can handcuff me. Put your arms behind your back. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Nah, you're not, nah, fuck that. If you taking me, you taking that bitch too, because she put her hands on me and she put her hands on my sister. My mother and my aunt is on the phone screaming to the top of their lungs like, what's going on? What the fuck is going on? Why is my daughter getting arrested? Hello, officer, Kane. Like, they just going in. I guess the downstate hospital, they're just like, you're miscarrying. You're having a miscarriage. So I'm just like, I didn't even know I was pregnant. I didn't have any symptoms. I had no morning sickness. I wasn't sleepy. I wasn't nothing. Nothing, y'all. So I kind of felt some type of way about it, but then again, I did. And it comes into the woman's bathroom. And there's women in there. They're like, excuse me, this is a woman's bathroom. He's like, so? Like, my friend is in here. She needs my fucking help.
That's gonna come with top two. That's a joke you must have dictated. Cause I've been the one to wonder why they imitating. Started making moves, now randoms claim that we related. It's almost like you never knew me till my paper came in. Like my grind is so gracious, house is so spacious. Making George drop, call a doctor for a facelift.
What's good? KKG. It's the one and only Mrs. Kane. What's poppin', what's crackin', how you doing? How you been? It's another story time. This is episode 4. None of the names used in this story time belong to any of these people. Their names are being changed to protect their privacy. Their names are being changed to protect the privacy of the trifling and not the innocent. Okay, y'all. So like I left off in episode 3, I was telling y'all about Antoine. Antoine is the guy that I met at the club, which was one of the nights that we were just taking a bunch of shots. And somehow, some way, me and Antoine exchanged phone numbers, and Antoine started to text me. All right, this became an everyday thing. The good morning beautifuls, I hope you have a great day, all of this bullshit. So he sends me a text message one night, and it was a little after 10 p.m. And he's like, let's link up. He wanted to link up and hang out. So I'm just like, hang out where? Antoine is like, whatever you choose. You want to come to my place, I come to your place, or we can just go out somewhere. So I said, let's go out and get something to eat. Just a little tester, just to see where his mind is at. And Antoine was like, all right, cool. So I went into the group chat and I'm telling the girls, this dude Antoine wants to go out to, he wants to hang out with me tonight. I told him, let's go out to eat. You know how my friends are. They all asking, like, Tika is like, how does he look? So I had already researched Antoine, y'all. I told y'all I'm nosy as hell. And it's like, whenever a dude would approach me, or I'm talking to a dude, I would look him up. I look on Facebook. I type his name in. I'm looking on Instagram. I'm looking all over the place, all right? But at this particular time, this is when Facebook was kind of getting hot. So I type his name in on Facebook, and I find him on Facebook. He's one of these wiggers where he can't take a picture alone. He's got other multiple wiggers in the picture with him. So because I know what he looks like, this is how I was able to, see, all right, this is him. So I screenshots the picture, y'all. I sent it in the group chat. I'm like, this is him. So Tangi's like, oh, I remember him. That's the one that was like all in our face the whole night. I'm like, yeah. So Maribel was like, all right, well, if y'all going to, to this little restaurant, then just go ahead. So we ends up on 42nd Street, y'all, because that's literally like the only restaurants that's like open past hours. There was a Chinese restaurant in the hood, this Crown Fry, this Royal Fry, but that still means that we have to eat this food indoors, like in my house, and we're not doing that. So I'm just like, let's link up at 42nd Street. Let's go down to BBQs and somewhere. So Antoine is like, all right, cool. Me and Antoine end up going to BBQs. So we met there at the restaurant. We're eating, we're talking. Antoine is telling me a little bit about himself. He works at Barnes and Nobles, I think it was. It was Barnes and Nobles, I believe. It's either Barnes and Nobles or Best Buy. One of them two stores. And I'm telling Antoine where I work, You know, he doesn't have any kids. He's had 2 pregnancy scares and blah, 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 fucking blah, y'all. Antoine starts to tell me how, you know, he thinks I'm cool. He likes me. He's attracted to me. He wants to get to know me some more. He wants to see me some more. Now, I told y'all Antoine was okay looking. He wasn't the type of dude where you gotta, you know, you gotta get on the news like, yo, like, I just met this fine ass wigger and this, and this. He was okay looking. He was mid, all right? So, I'm just like, you know, okay. So he's just like, you know, you saying that like you don't feel the same way, like you don't fuck with me. So I'm like, I mean, I'm still getting to know you. I have to get to know you. Like, I can't just go off, you know, a plate of food at BBQs and sitting across from you and listening to your life story. Like, I have to get to know you. So he's like, all right, that's cool. You know, like, I plan on hanging out with you more and more. So I'm like, all right, fine. Y'all, while I'm sitting there and we're eating at this damn table, my phone is vibrating in my purse. So, you know, I'm going down, looking at my purse. Now, y'all, I'm really funny with this. Like, when I go out with people, and men specifically, hood men specifically, I don't like looking at my phone. I don't like continuously looking down at my phone and texting and typing, because the way the wiggers up in New York, I'm going to just say up in New York because I don't know how men in other places operate. But I know the men that I've been around in New York City, y'all, the street wiggers, when they are out with you and they see you on your phone consistently, they start to think crazy things. They start to think, you know, is this bitch trying to set me up? Because why the fuck she keep going on that damn phone? I'm getting annoyed now because I'm just like, who the fuck is texting me? Like, I told these girls that I was going out with this dude. I dropped the pin once I got there. Like, everything is all set just in case something go wrong. Why, you know, I'm thinking it's them, y'all. So I tell Antoine, you know, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. He's like, all right, do your thing. I get up, I go to the bathroom. I go inside the bathroom and I look at my phone and it's Richard. Richard is texting my phone. And the text is something along the lines of, why the fuck am I not home? It was something like that. So in my mind, I'm just like, you know, how does this man know that I'm not home? Like, how? It's not making sense to me. It's not adding up. The math is not mathing. How do you know that I'm not home? So I go and I send a text message in a group chat. All right, I'm doing all of this really quick while I'm in this bathroom. So I send the message in a group chat and I'm just like, y'all, like, why I'm out here, I'm on this little date with Antoine and Richard is texting my phone asking me why I'm not home. It's almost midnight and I'm not home. So the girls is like, what? Like, how does he know this? So we're going to get to that. We're going to find out how Richard knows that I was not home the nights that I wasn't home. We're going to get to that. So I'm just like, you know, I'm annoyed now at this point. I'm really pissed off. I'm annoyed. It got to the point where it was like every time Richard would contact me, it would do something to me. It would just piss me off bad. So I comes out of the bathroom, I go back to the table. Antoine is like, is everything good? I'm like, yeah, everything's copacetic. So Antoine pays for the food. We leave the restaurant, y'all. We walking up and down 42nd Street. We're talking. He's reminiscing about when he was a child. So finally, we get on the train, and Antoine rides with me back to Brooklyn. Antoine had lived in Harlem. He rides with me back to Brooklyn, and he comes out of the train station. I catches me a cab, and I go home. Like, the whole time, though, that we're traveling back to Brooklyn, Antoine was making hints at coming to my house. And I just kept going over them hints because you're not coming to my fucking house. So I got in that cab and I went home. It was a pretty dope night. When he got home, courteous, I told him when he gets home to send me a text message to let me know he made it home safe, even though he's a man, you know. So he sends me the text message when he got home. I think it was probably like 3 in the morning. So the next day, y'all, Richard calls my phone. I'm like, hello? He's like, yeah, you know, I was just trying to figure out, like, what's going on. Like, I feel like I'm being played. You know, like, I feel like you be doing to piss me off so we could break up so you could be out there doing a bunch of hoe So I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? What is it now? What's the issue now? I'm trying to figure out why you wasn't home. So I just hung up on him. I'm just confused as to how this man knows that I wasn't home. It's not adding up to me. So I hung up the phone because I'm just like, I'm not doing this with him today. I don't want my day ruined. I'm trying to enjoy my day. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward some. All right. Now, y'all, it's the following week, and it was this girl. It was this Spanish girl. Once in a while, she would hang out with us. It wasn't an everyday thing. It wasn't an every time thing, but it was her birthday. She wanted us to come with her on her birthday to this club. Now, this was a different club. It wasn't nothing like Webster Hall, okay? So when she said that, I kind of didn't want to go because I'm just like, okay. So I ended up asking my sisters to go. My two sisters, they was like, yeah, we're going to go. So this is the picture here where we went. And we went to hang out with this girl for her birthday. I had these shoes on that was so motherfucking uncomfortable, y'all. Like, and there was no seats. She was getting a section, bottle section and all of that. So I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, I'm going to be good with these shoes. Even though I know that the shoes will cut my feet up, y'all, I still wore the shoes because they matched the outfit. And this was a dress that I had made. I sold and made this dress. So we get to this club, y'all. There's no seats for us. She couldn't get the section. I don't remember exactly what the issue was, but there's no seats. We're literally standing up this whole entire night. And my feet was burning. This was just one night I was just like, I was okay with leaving early. I didn't mind. I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. I really don't care. I don't. We ends up leaving. We leaves that club and we're walking. And I believe this was around the time where Richard was hanging out with this guy from his job. Richard was hanging with this guy from his job. This guy was in the Storytime, the Condom Bandit. I don't remember what I named him, so I'm going to just give him a new name, okay? We're just going to call him Jake. Richard was hanging with Jake, and Jake drove this minivan. Like, it was like a dusty gray minivan, okay? I could have sworn I seen this minivan when we were leaving out of this club. I know I'm not tripping, y'all. And I kept saying it to the girls, like, I feel like Richard is following me. Like, Richard is stalking me. Tangi was like, didn't y'all break up? Like, didn't he break up with you? I'm just like, yeah, like, but I just feel like he's stalking me. Because I told y'all he would be calling my phone and texting me like, why am I not home? I don't know, it just wasn't making sense. But I felt like I seen Richard and Jake inside this little busted up minivan down in the city by that club when we was leaving this club. See, y'all, I just felt like Richard was following me. I know he was following me. Knowing the type of person he is, I know he was following me. So a couple of days now have went by once again, and it's the weekend. Antoine sends me a text, and it's at nighttime. So I'm just thinking to myself, all right, you always sending text messages at nighttime. You must have a female. You live with somebody. You live with a female. This is what I'm asking him in the text. He's like, no, I told you that I work and I'm going to school. Like, I got a little bit of everything going on during the daytime. So the nighttime is my nighttime to chill. So I'm just like, all right, so what's up? How you doing? Antoine wants to hang out again. He wants to link up again. This time he wants to come to my house. I guess this is one of the times where you could say Big Kane was on her hosh, okay? Excuse me, Mama Kane, if you happen to watch this video. I think everybody has had this phase in their life, okay? So, and y'all know this is a transparent channel. Don't come up here judging, because a lot of y'all is still on y'all hosh, alright? So I'm just like, you want to hang out, you want to link up and do what? He's like, I just want to come by your house. Maybe we could watch some movies on TV, just vibe. I'm like, all right. I tells Antoine he could come to my house. Now, here's the plot twist to this. I gave Antoine the address to the other building that was next to my building. So on this block that I was living on, Utica and Buffalo was the between streets, and it was Prospect. I showed y'all the old building that I was staying at. So these buildings were all connected. It was like a long block of fucking buildings. And then at the end of the block, there was like little, standalone houses. if I guess, like little houses, townhouses, I guess. And then it was a corner store. So I tell him the address to the building that's connected to mine. So he's like, all right, I'll be on my way. So Antoine gets to Crown Heights, I want to say around midnight, because that's the time he texts my phone. It's midnight now. He texts my phone and is like, I made it to your block. I'm in front of your building. The door is locked. Now these buildings had the front doors were locked. You needed a key or you needed the code, the intercom number for the person to buzz you in. So I'm like, oh, hold on, I'm coming to get you. So I comes out of my apartment, y'all, and I runs to the back door. I goes down the stairs. I run down the alley, and I come into the other building from the back. I comes up to the front door. I opens up the door, and Antoine is like, oh, what's up, what's up, sweetheart? How you doing? I'm like, hey, what's up? We give each other a little side church hug. We goes back the same way that I came into this building. Antoine is confused. Like, he's like, where are we going? So I'm just like, oh, we going to my house. He's like, leaving out the building? I'm like, yeah, the buildings are connected. Like, it's just one. He's like, oh, it's a courtyard. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it's a courtyard. So we come up through the back door of my building and we go to, my door. We go into my apartment. Now, y'all, Antoine not once seen my address to my building. He didn't see the address at all. I just feel like, when you let these people know where you live, they mysteriously obtain a memory like an elephant, all right? And it just brings problems. So we get into my apartment, y'all, and Antoine asks, can he go to the bathroom? I'm just like, yeah, bathroom's right there. So he goes into the bathroom, and I hear my shower come on. So I'm looking, I'm like, why does he got the shower on? Y'all, Antoine took a shower. Antoine took a shower in my bathroom. Didn't ask me. He just asked to use my bathroom. And when he comes out the bathroom, he's got his clothes laid across his arm. They laid across his arm, and he's got tighty whities on. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with tighty whities. But I am a boxer brief type of woman, okay? I like boxers. There's nothing wrong with tighty whities. If that's what you prefer, then that's what you prefer. But it just looks like panties to me on men. So that's what he had on. He had tighty whities on, and he had them on in gray. He comes out of the bathroom, and he's walking down this little tiny hallway, and he's like, oh, I hope you didn't mind, like, I need to take a shower really quick. So I'm like, you gonna put your clothes back on? He's like, nah, like, we're gonna vibe. He gets on the bed, y'all, and he's asking me, do I have any movies? Do I have any DVDs? Like, do I have any movies? And I'm just like, I thought you had some, like, cause this is your plan. So he's like, no, I thought you would have some, like, I have a DVD player, but I don't have any movies. So we end up watching regular TV, y'all. It really wasn't anything on the TV, I don't think, at that time. So Antoine starting this trauma bonding conversation again. He wants to talk about when he was a little boy and talk about his aunt, because his aunt raised him. He wants to talk about this. He wants to talk about that. It was just, the whole conversation was always about him. So he's just running his mouth. I'm sitting there on my bed, next to him, and I guess he's noticing, like, why you still got your clothes on? Like, why you got your your pants on? Take these pants off. So I'm just like, listen, you came over here to get some koosh, basically, right? He's like, well, it don't have to be all about that. Like I told you, I like you. I'm trying to fuck with you the long way. So I'm just like, I think you should have said that, to see where my mind was and how I felt about it. So he's like, well, how do you feel about it? I'm just like, I don't know. So y'all, I goes into the group chat. Yes, I did, while I was sitting there, and I'm telling the girls what's going on. Tika and Tangi was saying, you only live once, you're young, just go ahead and try it. Maribel, on the other hand, was like, get that motherfucker out your house. You don't know this and you don't know that. And that was really where my mind was. With what Maribel was saying, I was already there. But I still invited this man into my house. The best part was the way I brought him into the building, y'all. He didn't know, okay? So, and then his breath smelled like alcohol, so I know he was drinking. So Antoine is touching on my leg, he's touching on my arms, okay? And then Eventually, y'all, it gets to that point. We're getting ready to smash, okay? We are getting ready to smash. We are right in the middle of this. And I know y'all fellas that's watching this, y'all probably going, I just happened to look at Antoine's face because the TV was still on. The apartment was dark, but the TV was still on. I happened to just look at his face, y'all. I don't know, and I instantly became nauseous. It was like my body was rejecting him before. I'm just like, and he looks up because he's trying to kiss me. I'm like, he's like, is something wrong? Like, my breath stink? And I'm like, okay, first of all, yes, your breath stinks. It smells like liquor. Second of all, I don't think I want to do this. Just get up. So I'm pushing him. So he gets up, he rolls off of me, and he's just sitting there. He's like, what is it? What I did? So I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I want to do this. Like, this is not me. This is not something that I do. I don't lay down with random men that I don't know. So Antoine is like, he's trying to smooth this whole situation out. Like, oh, we've been hanging out for, 2 or 3 weeks now. We've been talking on the phone. I'm just like, I'm sorry, 2 or 3 weeks is just not enough time for Kane, y'all. I was raised old school. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking by inviting this dude, by accepting the invite of him coming to my house. So I'm just like, 2 or 3 weeks is not enough time. Like, if it was 2 or 3 months, that's different. But 2 or 3 weeks, like, nah, So Antoine is like, so you don't want to do it. Like, I'm already out there. I already got a bag on. Like, I'm just like, yeah, like, I just don't want to do it. Oh my God, you're going to give me blue ball. I'm just like, well, I don't know, can you run it into some cold water? Like, this is what I'm asking him. So he starts laughing. And he's like, nah, it's cool. Like, I totally understand or whatever. I know he was upset, because I seen his jaw clenching when I had turned the light on. So Antoine gets dressed and he's sitting there for a little while. He's not saying nothing. And then finally, he's ready to leave. So I'm just like, let me escort you back out, because sometimes it's confusing when leaving. So I walk him back to the other building through the alleyway, y'all, back to the other building. Antoine's trying to hug me this time. He didn't want the church hug. He's trying to hug me. So he's like, I'm willing to come back and, do a do-over, redo it. We can hang out more and this, that, and the third, so it doesn't feel too awkward. I understand what you're saying, I love a wholesome woman. So I'm just like, yeah, okay. After that, y'all, I blocked Antoine on my phone. It was just, I don't know, like, it was just something with his energy. I just blocked him on my phone. I didn't want anything else to do with him. So that was like the one night stand that went completely wrong. And I don't think I had one night stands ever again after that. I just kept running into stupid ass wiggers. So the next day, y'all, the girls is in the group chat. They just like, what happened? How did it go? Maribel was like, I hope you made him go. So I'm in the group chat. I'm like, listen, ladies, it didn't go good. I told him to get the fuck out. I didn't want to do it. So Maribel was like, good, and don't invite no more wiggers there. And, Tangi and Tika was like, why? Like, what happened? I'm just telling him, like, I don't know. Like, I felt nauseous. I looked at his face and I felt nauseous, y'all. And I was just like, I can't do this. And this is no cap. So, I don't know if Antoine was messaging me because, like I said, I blocked him. And that was just that. And I'm glad that he didn't see my building number, my address number on the building. Because who knows, he probably would have came to my house. You get what I'm saying? Some more days had went by. Maybe it's like 2 weeks now. I'm going to get my nails done. Now, I would get my nails done in Brownsville at the nail salon. The one on Pekin Avenue. The one that used to be very good before they started getting, rumors about them. They had some very bad rumor reviews, y'all. Like, I don't know if it's still like that now, but once I hear something bad about you, like, I have to approach with caution. This place was known for giving you fungus on your nails, and then I heard somebody had got the hotter than Vegas from this nail salon, but this was like years after I was going there. So I'm going to this nail salon, and this is the one I'm picking right by the Chase Bank. I don't know if it's still there, but back then it was there. And I'm getting my nails done. Richard walks into the nail salon. So I'm guessing maybe somebody saw me go in there and they told him like, yo, I seen your girl going to the nail salon. Richard walks into the nail salon with this Michael Myers outfit on with the Timbs. And he's got like this blue, this blue trucker hat that matches the outfit. And he's got it turned backwards. His hair was undone, which was weird. I had never seen Richard without his hair braided, without it done. Like he always had it braided. He had the millies, okay, but a little bit bigger than these. So he walks in. I'm just sitting there, and Susie, that was her name, Susie. She's doing my nails, and I happened to just look up. Like I just happened to, Susie made a joke. I looked up, I'm looking at her, hee hee ha ha ka ka, laughing, and I turned my head and I looked, and Richard is coming into the nail salon. He's walking in tunnel vision right on me. He's walking over to me. I'm just like, yo, is this motherfucker stalking me? Like, how the fuck did he know I'm in this nail salon? How? Because when I got off that bus, I got off the 14 bus, y'all. I literally skipped across the street into the damn nail salon. Like, I'm confused. He comes over and he grabs this, like a little rolling stool, and he sits down and he just staring at me like. And I'm just looking at him like, and Susie looking at us like. So I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, since when you come to Brownsville and you'll tell me that you're over here? So I'm just like, what are you doing inside the nail salon? I don't have to tell you when I come to Brownsville. I never did. Like, what's up with you? I'm just trying to figure out, like, why every time I go somewhere, you either pop up on my phone or you popping up. Just like, what's going on? Literally, what's going on? I'm just trying to figure out why I haven't heard from you. Hello? What do you need to hear from me for? You wanted to break up, so y'all get what I'm saying? You break up with somebody, y'all, and you're upset because the person is not contacting you. I don't chase after men. I'm not chasing you. What am I chasing you for? You wanted to break up, so that's what we did. This is us literally arguing in the nail salon. So Susie is like, hey. I can't do her nails because you're bothering her. And I need you to move. He's like, all right, I'm going to see you when you come out of here. So he rolls the little chair with an attitude and gets up and walks out. I'm just like, yo, like, why the fuck is this man bothering me? Like, where and how did you know I was in this damn nail salon? I think somebody told him. So that's all I'm going to say. I think somebody told him that I went into the nail salon and he comes across the street to work, to come in here, because his job was across the street, but it was down the block onto another street. Anybody from Brownsville, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm just like, Susie hurried up and did my nails, and I left. This is around the time, y'all, where I met the twin. I should have looked at the story time so I can use the same names. I don't remember what the hell I named these twins, but y'all remember the story time, Twin A and Twin B. This is around the time when I met the twins. Yeah. I met these twins, I'm going to say twins, because I thought I was dating one person, and the whole time it was two different motherfuckers with the same face. They were identical twins. I had went downtown Brooklyn, I went shopping, and I met this guy. When I was downtown Brooklyn, y'all, the Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker, down on Fulton Street, and I was shopping for some feetwear, and he was shopping for feetwear. He's very tall, very attractive, my type. He had hair. He had his hair like in a big ass puffy ponytail. He was cute. So I'm just like, oh, okay, this might be the wigger. This might be the one that shows Richard out the door. This is what I'm thinking, y'all. I think me and what did I name? I don't remember what I named this dude. I'm gonna just call him Twin A. That's all. I'm thinking Twin A was gonna be that dude. You know, like he wasn't that dude, y'all. Because I was talking to Twin A for a little minute. Because me and Richard stayed broken up for maybe about 2 or 3 months, tops, maybe 2 months. Because he kept trying to, wiggle his way back in. But I'm talking to Twin A. We're going out on dates. We're linking up. Just different things. He even respected the fact that, like I said, I don't want to smash right away too quick. He respected that too. But as I said in the story time, this dude was weird. I felt he was weird. It was just like, damn, like I would see him, let's just say it's a Monday. He would come over on Monday. He said he's going to pick his daughter up and he's coming back. He would come back, but he's got different clothes on and he's got an attitude. So I'm just like, if you don't want to be here at the crib with me, buddy, you can go back home. Like, you could have stayed with your daughter. And he'll be like, oh, nah, everything's good. I'm just kind of annoyed. It has nothing to do with you. Y'all, the whole time, let me just play a snippet from the video.
I'm not doing it. I want to take you out. I haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been busy with school and shit like that. And I'm just like, yeah. He's like, well, let's go to IHOP. IHOP is still my favorite restaurant to this day. I don't care. He's like, let's go to IHOP. I'm like, all right, bet. He's like, do you want to pick you up? Or, because I was at school. The college that I was going to, there was an IHOP in the area. So he's like, do you want me to pick you up? Or you want to just get a cab to the IHOP? So I'm just like, I can get a cab or whatever. It's nothing because it's really not that far. So he's like, all right, cool. So I get me a cab. I get to the IHOP. I text him and say I'm here. He's like, I'm on the way. I'm almost there. I'm like, all right, cool. I sit down on the bench, and actually, as soon as I sat down on the bench, he was walking through the door. He was coming through the door. So stand up, I hug him. He give me a kiss on the cheek. He's like, oh, I miss you. How was, did you pass any of the exams? I'm like, yeah, I passed 2 and wait for the results of the other one. So he's like, that's good. So I asked him about his daughter. He's telling me, the bullshit with his daughter's mother and him, whatever. Now we go inside the restaurant and we orders food and things like that. And he goes, damn. So I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, I left my wallet in the car. So I'm like, oh, okay. The waiter, as he's realizing that he's left the wallet in the car, the waiter is bringing the food to the table that we had ordered. So he's like, I'm gonna go run and get the wallet because I don't want to start eating, and then after we eat, I gotta go get my wallet. She's gonna think we're trying to run off with the food. Go ahead. He gets up, he leaves. I'm trying to be, a respectable date and not. I just sitting there, but I don't want my food to get cold at the same time now. Like, seriously, this man Antoine was taking forever. Okay, I'm just like, I just know damn well this nigga didn't leave me in this restaurant. This is what's going through my head. I hope that he did not leave me in this restaurant. I don't know why I always have panic thoughts, but I was panicking. I get up out of, the booth seat. I'm trying to look through the window. I still see, like, the front part of his car because he was driving, a Charger. I'm looking and I'm like, okay, car is still there. But I can't see anything else. I can just see the front, the grill part. That's all I can see. So I sit back down. And I text him and say, hey, I'm going to start eating. I was trying to wait for you. He responds and says, yeah, babe, go ahead. I'm coming. I had a hard time finding the wallet. It was under my seat, but I'm coming now. I'm like, all right, cool. He comes walking in. He doesn't say anything. He just sits down. And I said, I'm sorry. I was hungry and I don't want my food to get cold. So I just went ahead and started eating. And I also took a napkin and covered up your plate. He's like, okay. Like, I mean, dry. Just Canada dry. Just dry. So, I'm now, I told you I'm an empath. I read energies. I'm just like, this guy, his energy is not, it's not the same energy that was just here a few minutes ago. this is something totally different. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So I'm eating my food, and I happen to look, like, I just look up at him, and he's looking down at his plate, and he's like, and then he does this. And I look at him, and he looks back down, and he starts eating his food. That was the huge red flags of all red flags in this whole motherfucking universe. That look alone. So I said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. He's like, okay. I get up, I go to the bathroom. I text my friends, because we had like a group text. I said, y'all, something is weird about Antoine right now. I don't know what's going on, and it's scary. Everybody comes in the chat. What the fuck's going on? What happened? What is it? Are you safe? Where are you? First of all, I'm like, I'm at IHOP. I'm in a public place. But he went to the car to get his wallet, and he comes back, and he looks like the jigsaw nigga. Y'all know what I'm trying to say? The dude with the things. Dude, would you like to play a game? Like, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm just like, he's acting weird. Like, he's giving me serial killer vibes right now, okay? Like, I don't know. So my friend, we're gonna call her Maribel. She's like, maybe he has schizophrenia. Maybe he has personality disorder. One moment he's Antoine, the next minute he's somebody else. Just go along with it. So I'm like, nah. Because that look that he gave me, it was like, I don't know, y'all. It was scary. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm just like, I'm scared. My friend is like, do you want to just leave? And I'm like, I wouldn't even begin to know how to say, I don't want to finish my food. I want to just leave. Because, y'all, I'm ruthless. I would just walk right past him and walk straight at the fucking restaurant. I didn't want to do that. So I'm just like, I'm going to just wing it. I'm going to go and sit, but I'm going to keep everything on speed dial. Every one of y'all, including 911. I come out the bathroom, I go and I sit down. He's eating now, He's eating, he's looking out the window, he's eating. He goes, you all right? So I said, yeah, I'm okay. He goes, okay. And he goes back to eating his food. I'm trying to break whatever ice box he put on in that car. I'm trying to break it and bring him back to the Antoine spirit that he had before he went and got the wallet. So in my mind, I started to think, I said, maybe he don't have enough money or something. I'm just thinking maybe it's something with his funds. I don't know. Or maybe his baby mother called and was bothering him. Who knows? So I just was like, yeah, so what do you want to do after this? And he's like, we can go back to your place and chill. I'm like, yeah, because last time I said we could finish watching that movie, because remember last time we never finished watching the movie. Like, we both ended up falling asleep. He looks up from his plate and says, what movie? I said, the last time you were at my house, we were watching a movie, and we both fell asleep on the chair, on the couch, like. And he's like, I don't recall. I don't remember that. And I said, that's the weed talking. That's the weed brain, right? Weed talking. He says, I really don't remember what movie you're talking about. So I'm like, I said, so I just made a joke, y'all, and said, so let me guess, you wasn't at my house the other day looking at the movie. He says, no. Straight face, no smile, nothing. And I'm like, I just shook my head and bit into my burger. I'm not even going, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this dude, okay? I don't know what's happening here. All I can remember is thinking about Maribel when she said her uncle with the personality disorder. I said, all right, Antoine is Anthony. He's somebody else. Okay? So now the waiter comes, he goes to his wallet, hands her the card, pays for the food. And he goes, do you want me to take you home? Like, take you. You still want me to come to your house? Like, I'm like, yeah, if you want. He goes, okay. We get in the car, and now mind you, me and Antoine have been talking for 30 days. So Antoine should know how to get to my house. He goes, can you direct me to your house from here? Do you know this area? I'm like, yeah. So I'm directing. I'm like, oh, you forgot really quick. He's like, yeah. That weed brain.
So it was like that the whole time with him. Like, I would just be confused until, we actually took it there in this little situationship where we actually did mess around, and I didn't like it. It was weird. It was awkward. I didn't like it. Come to find out, y'all, he was identical twin. The days that he couldn't be with me, hang out with me, he would send his brother, okay? And the days that he could, he was there. So he sent his brother, and I guess his brother wanted to go the extra mile with me. We did. And then he come and exposed to me that he had a twin brother. His twin brother wasn't supposed to take a date with me. And his brother told him that I said that, the schlong was trash. Yada, yada, fucking yada. And he wanted to make up for what his brother had messed up. And I'm just like, what the fuck do I look like? Like, what do I look like? So, yeah, y'all, that was out of the way. I was just like, yeah, this is... No. Just no. I was so embarrassed, y'all. I was embarrassed. Because I had bragged to my friends, like, yeah, I met this fine-ass wigger at the sneaker store. Tall, brown skin, mad cute, nice soft hair. And y'all, he was a freaking scam artist. Him and his brother. They were identical twins, and they was scamming me, like, with their face. The whole IHOP scene, the one I just let y'all see, that right there just took the ice. It put the ice, the icing, the ice, whatever. It took it. So I ended up telling Twin A and Twin B, I didn't want shit else to do with them. I didn't appreciate what they was doing. The twin switcheroo, I didn't appreciate it. I think it was grimy as hell. And that was that. Here I am now. I'm still working. I'm still in school. Some way, somehow, dumbass Kane, once again, y'all. Once a motherfucking again. It just didn't end. I goes on a date with Richard. Richard, he went the love bomb way. He went the love bomb stage way to get me back. He calls my phone. He's just like, I want to take you out to eat. I wanted this. I wanted that. He shows it to my house. He's got on dress pants. This is the first time I've ever seen Richard dressed like this. He's got on dress pants. He had on Air Force though. He didn't have no shoes on. He had dress pants, little button-up shirt. He had his hair done nice. He's got a bouquet of flowers. He's got a balloon that says I love you. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Because this is something new. He's never done this before. So I take the bouquet of flowers. I take the balloon. What are we doing tonight? Like, what's up? Or are we playing the house again? Are we playing house again? Which one is it? He's like, nah, I want to take you out. We end up going to Olive Garden, y'all. And I'm not going to lie, I hated Olive Garden back then. But since I've been pregnant, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if my daughter has my husband's taste buds. But Olive Garden is popping right now. So I'm just like, I hated Olive Garden. I'm like, oh, God, I hate Olive Garden. Like, why would you... I hate Olive Garden. Here you go. I don't fuck with this garden place. I don't. So he's like, oh, well... We done been to BBQs before, whatever. I just want to take you somewhere different. But I hate Olive Garden. You know this. I have said this to you numerous times. Like, all right, fine. We goes to the Olive Garden, y'all. I gets full of breadsticks, water, and ice cream. All right? And, like the sauce. What is the white sauce? Damn, what's the name of that motherfucking sauce? Alfredo. Breadsticks and Alfredo sauce, okay, and the salads. Water and ice cream. That was my whole thing. Because it was something about the sauce, y'all, like the spaghetti and all that. I just couldn't get with it. But right now, they jumping right now. They kicking right now. So we at Olive Garden. You know, you already got a point taken away because you took me to a restaurant that I don't really fuck with. Literally. So now we go back to the house. And Richard wants to get busy. Okay? I'm telling Richard, you know, you gotta use a condom. Because I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you've been. I just don't know. Okay? And I'm not trying to go there with you. I'm young. I know about all these STDs. I know about these diseases and everything. I don't want that. I still got shit to do tomorrow. I got shit to do next week. And years later down the line, I don't have time to be laid up in nobody's hospital sick. Richard is like, all right, fine, this, that, and the third, y'all. So, all right, we have our little rendezvous night. But the rendezvous night kind of went weird, all right? I don't want to give too much information, but I don't even know how to say it. I'm just go to the next scene and y'all will understand. So y'all, we ends up getting back together from that one night, all right? But I still had boundaries and stipulations. You have one time to piss me off and this shit is done with. Like, I'm not playing with you. I'm really not playing with you. When my friends come to my house, you are not allowed at my house. Like this, I'm just telling him everything. He's like, nah, all right, I understand. Like, yeah, you know, I respect that. I respect this, and this. This only lasted for maybe like 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, Richard was right back to the same motherfucking person. He was right back to the same bullshit, y'all. Right back to the same bullshit. I'm just like, you know, I can't win for losing. And I feel like it's really my fault because I keep going back to this wigger. Even though I was young, y'all, at this time, I think I was maybe like 20, 24, 25. You know, I still was blaming myself. I'm just like, damn, why do I keep going back to this dude? Like, why? Why? It's like I can't escape him to save my life. That's just how I felt. So now, y'all, I told y'all I'm going to Kingsbury Community College. I'm hanging out with my friend Kay. I'm hanging out with Brandon. Like, we just vibing, you know what I'm saying? Richard starts to slowly hate on them. Because Kay would come to my house. We would study. Brandon would come over. You know, like, Richard's starting to hate on them. He starts accusing me of messing with Brandon. He starts accusing me of messing with Brandon. Brandon was my homeboy. I didn't look at him in that form. Like, you know, I didn't look at him like that. But I'm just like, damn, you know, every time I hang out with somebody, you have an issue with this. Like, it's like you want me to be in this little ass Amazon box apartment alone, not talking to nobody and not doing anything. Like, this is literally what Richard wanted. So, I'm not paying Richard no mind. I'm going to school, hanging out with my friends. Until one day, y'all. Once again, here's the bullshit. I go to the bathroom because I'm just like, you know, this particular day I wasn't feeling well. I'm just like, damn, you know. And this is like the following month. I'm at school. Me and Brandon's in the same class. I think it was like some literature writing class or something. And I sends Brandon a message and I'm just like, you know, I feel sick. Like, I don't know what's going on. I just don't feel well. So Brandon is like, what do you mean? Like, is it a cold? Like, do you feel nauseous? Like, what is it? I'm just like, I can't describe it. Y'all, I gets up and I goes to the bathroom. So I had these white jeans on. Y'all, and I had the matching jacket. I think it was Levi set. I goes to the motherfucking bathroom and I gets into the stall to use the toilet. And there is blood all over. You know, not to be TMI, but it's all over. All over my panties and everything. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, is it time for my you know, my friend? Like, my period? Like, no. So I go to look at my phone, you know, because I would track my, you know, go and look at my phone, and it's nowhere near time. Actually, it was way past time. I had been hanging out so much I didn't realize it. So I'm just like, damn, okay. I'm late on my cycle. And now something is just not right. So now my clothes, my pants is all fucked up. It's destroyed. I sent Brandon and Kay a text. I'm telling them what's going on in the bathroom. This is how much Brandon was another ROD friend, y'all. And that's the reason why I hung out with him. I love Brandon so much to this very day. Brandon comes into the woman's bathroom. And there's women in there. They're like, excuse me, this is a woman's bathroom. He's like, so? Like, my friend is in here. She needs my fucking help. So Brandon comes, he's like, he's like, Kane. He's calling my real name. But he's like, but y'all know it's Kane for the story time. He's like, Kane. And I'm like, I'm in here. Like, I'm in the last stall. I always wanted to be in the stall, the big ass stall. They got the sink inside of it. I love them stalls, y'all. So I'm like, I'm in the last stall. And he comes to the door. He's knocking on the door. So I, waddle to the door. And I opens up the bathroom door. This is how close we were. Him and Kay. They come into the bathroom stall. And Brandon is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think maybe my cycle changed. Like, I don't know. So Kay is like, let me help out. Brandon, let me help out. Just move out. So Brandon comes out of the stall. And me and Kay is trying to clean this up. It was just bad, y'all. I felt so dirty. I just felt dirty. And it was like after that day, y'all, I would walk around with, extra panties and pads. I always had pads in my purse, but I would walk around with like extra pair of panties in my bag just in case. So y'all, whatever the situation was, because I'm going to tell y'all what it was, I just kept leaking. Sorry, fellas, if y'all watching this, I just kept leaking. So Brandon gives me his windbreaker jacket, and I wrap it around my waist, and we are walking to the nurse's station. And I'm walking really slow because I felt disgusted. Brandon is like, let me know if you need me to carry you there. So I'm like, nah, it's cool. We get to the nurse's station, y'all, and I'm telling the nurse what's going on. I'm having bad cramps, and I'm having this issue. So she's like, okay, so it's your cycle. So I'm showing her on my phone, like, my cycle is actually late. Like, late. And I didn't realize it because I'm just out. I'm out partying. I'm out doing a whole bunch of I'm not realizing it. So the nurse goes into the back. Kay and Brandon, she tells them to go sit out in the, the little bench that's in the hallway. And she's like, can you put some urine in a cup? So I'm like, all right, I'll try. I goes to the bathroom, y'all. I puts a little bit of urine in a cup. Like, it was just a little bit. It wasn't a lot. And she's like, although, you're showing signs of a cycle, I'm still going to give you a pregnancy test. She gives me a pregnancy test, y'all. And I was pregnant. The test came back positive. But it wasn't dark. It was like light. So she's like, this could be a sign of a miscarriage. Or maybe it's a sign of actual pregnancy. I would suggest you go to the hospital. So that's what I did. Brandon's brother came to the school to get us. We all got in his car. Brandon put like a plastic bag down. They took me home. I showered, changed my clothes, and then they took me to Downstate Hospital. When I get to Downstate Hospital, they're just like, you're miscarrying. You're having a miscarriage. So I'm just like, I didn't even know I was pregnant. I didn't have any symptoms. I had no morning sickness. I wasn't sleepy. I wasn't nothing, y'all. So I kind of felt some type of way about it, but then again, I didn't. I'm just like, I know it's Richard's. So I guess this is God's way of saying no. This was miscarriage number 1. As I'm doing this series, y'all, I realized a lot of my flaws as being, a young woman at that age. This is miscarriage number 1. And it started to bother me after a while. It started to bother me because I'm just like, damn, like, I was actually pregnant. I was going to be a mother. I was going to have a baby. But I guess it didn't go through. So I went to my gynecologist, y'all. I made an appointment to go to my gynecologist, and she was like, it's a miscarriage. Like, you had a miscarriage. She's examining me, like, to see if I needed, a DNC. I didn't need that. She's like, it passed through. Like, it wasn't it didn't get to a certain stage. You were like really early on. You could have been like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and it just fleshed out like an actual cycle. I'm like, all right, cool. So I ended up telling Richard. I told Richard, I'm just like, I explained the whole thing to him. Richard says, are you sure it was mine? I'm just like, yeah, who else would it be? Well, we was broken up for like 2 or 3 months. I'm like, no, it was yours. From that little, fake ass date night that we had went to, that was your child. If you count all the weeks back. So he's like, all right, well, so now what? I'm just like, I miscarried. Like, it's, there's no baby. So I guess he starts to notice that he sounds like an asshole, and he's just like, well, do you want to try again? Or like, do you want to have kids with me? And this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, I don't really know what I want to do with you, because you were like the biggest top tier asshole that I have known. Like, the biggest. Why you calling me names and this, and this? I'm just like, nah, because I'm keeping it real with you. Like, I'm telling you that I had a miscarriage, okay? And the first thing you could say is it yours? Like, I get it, but like, really, let's be fucking for real. I ended up telling my mother. I told my mother and I told one of my sisters. My mother was a little upset. My mother thought that I was hiding the pregnancy, and I'm just like, no, I didn't know. I didn't know I was pregnant until that day at school. So my mother was like, okay. So she's asking that I go to the doctor. I'm telling her, yeah, I went to the GYN. GYN told me this, and this. So now, y'all, Richard is trying to use this miscarriage, like, to gaslight me. He's just like, oh, well, I think this should bring us closer. This is a sign that, maybe I should be a father. Maybe I should be a father. You are a father already. When I met you, you have a 10-year-old son. Like, hello. But then I forgot, the baby mother was always saying that Richard was a fucking deadbeat and wasn't doing so I get it. All right, fine. I'm just like, yo, like, this is not making any sense to me. Like, what? Like, just what? So, y'all, fast forward a little bit more. I'm slowly forgetting about the miscarriage. I'm just like, I'm still living my best life. I'm like 24, 25 years old. I'm still out here living my best life, hanging with my friends, partying, going to school, going to work. I don't got time for Richard and his fucking nonsense. I don't. I'm walking down Rockaway one day, and I hear my name, like somebody's yelling my name from across the way. So I'm looking around. I take my headphones out. I'm looking around, like, and I see this little dark-skinned lady. She's like waving. So I'm just like, who the hell is that? I'm just looking, and she comes across the street. She comes running, darting across, and it's Invisible Man's mother. Because I told y'all, we used to be close. So she's like, hey girl, I seen you when you was coming down on the other side of the train station. I was trying to get your attention, but you had them things in your ears. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, we give each other a hug. She's like, I need your phone number. So I'm just like, okay. So I give her she take her phone out. I give her my phone number, and she's like, I'm giving it to Invisible Man. Invisible Man wants it. So I'm just like, well, where's he at? Where is he? She's like, oh, he's incarcerated. So I'm just like, he's incarcerated. Like, so what does he want with my number? Like, I'm just confused. So she's like, every day, Invisible Man is asking, have we saw you? Every day, Invisible Man asks about you. Year after year. So I'm just like, how long has he been in there? So she's like, he's been in there for a year. But Invisible Man always inquires about you. Like I said, and she's like, I'm going to give it to him the next time he calls. I'm going to give him the phone number, so just look for the number. So she's explaining to me how the call is going to come through on my phone so I can answer it to where, he doesn't lose his money or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. it was always like this, y'all. I will always see somebody related to Invisible Man, and they would have messages for me from him, from behind the wall. Once that little conversation was over with, I just walked off and I go into my mother's house. I think I spent the night at my mother's house this night, and the following day, I get a phone call, and it's the same phone call. It's the phone call the way Invisible Man's mother had described. So I knew it was him. So I answers the phone, and it's like, you have a call coming in from, and it said the name of, the jail. And he's like, hello? I'm like, hello? And he starts laughing. And he's like, Kane. Big Kane. If he knew that my name now is like Big Kane, is a certain way that he would say it. Because at the time, my name was something else. My name was Mrs. Fresh at the time, but we had like little nicknames for each other. So he was calling me by this nickname on the phone. And I'm just like, what's up? He's like, you know who this is? I'm like, yeah, I know exactly who it is. And he starts laughing, and he's like, what's going on? What's up with you? What you doing? And, we just conversating on the phone up until it was time for him to hang up. And the last thing he said was, when I get out, I'm coming to get you. And I'm like, to take me where? And he's like, you gonna see. And then the phone hangs up. So I never really look forward to that, y'all, because I'm just like, all right, Invisible Man is in jail. He's in prison, like, I was remembering what my mother said, don't never wait for no man in jail unless it's your husband, this, that, and the third. So I was just like, yeah, I'll tell my mother Invisible Man called. My mother's like, oh, how he's doing? I'm like, he's in jail. He's calling me from jail. And this how it would be, y'all. Invisible Man will call me every week or like every weekend. And we would just talk on the phone. Speaking of jail, I'm still going to Kingsborough Community College, y'all. And one of my sisters, one of the twins, they were going to this school. My sister had got into it with this older woman. My sister started hanging out with this older woman, y'all. And I really feel like the woman was LGBTQ. And she was upset that my sister wasn't, okay? I think she generated, a crush on my sister. So my sister's hanging out with this older lady. And my mother is complaining. My mother is like, why the fuck are you hanging out with this older lady? My sister was like 19 or 20 years old. And this lady was like in her late 40s, like going into her 50s. She was damn near close to my mother's age. So my mother was just like, what are you hanging out with this lady for? Like, I get it, she's a classmate or whatever, or, somebody from the school, but like, make it make some sense. So my sister's like, oh, she be giving me rides home, or we be going to Starbucks, like we be doing this, and this. So my mother is feeling some type of way about it, okay? And I'm just like telling my sister, just stay away from the lady because it's stressing out. It's stressing mommy out. So she's like, oh, one day she went to tell the lady that she couldn't hang out with her anymore. She'd rather just keep it in the classroom, like classmates and this, a bunch of stuff, y'all. The lady kind of got mad, and the lady put her hands on my sister. My sister calls my phone. I'm in the cafeteria with my friends. My sister calls my phone, and my sister is crying. So I'm just like, my sister's very emotional, okay? So I'm like, what's going on? My sister has this habit of calling, like, smack dab in the middle of something, and you don't know what the hell she's saying because she's crying. So I'm just like, what's going on? She's like, oh, this lady. I'm just like, what? I hangs up because I don't know what the fuck she's saying. So she calls back and she's like, hello. So I'm just like, what is going on? And that's when she tell me that the lady put her hands on her. So I'm just like, so me, Brandon, and Kay, we is going across campus. This is at Kingsborough, y'all. We going across campus to the building that my sister is at. If you ever been to Kingsborough Community College, y'all know how this school looks. So we're walking across. We gets to the building where my sister is at, and my sister's in the hallway crying. So I'm big Kane. I've always been like this, still like this. I'm gonna try to change a little bit because I'm a mother now. But I'm just like, walks up to the room door and I'm just like, what's up? She's like, it's the lady right there. Like, she's pointing the lady out. I goes in the classroom, like, excuse me, you. Let me holler at you real quick. So the lady's like, me? I'm like, yeah. The lady gets up. The lady comes to the door. I'm just like, yeah. What's going on with you and my sister? So she's like, basically lying. She's trying to say that my sister had slammed her car door, and she asked her not to do that or whatever, and my sister did it anyway, and they had a little exchange of words or whatever, and my sister hit her. My sister like pushed her, and so she pushed my sister back or whatever. So it was basically the same story that my sister had gave, but it was like it was like switched around. Both of them had the same story, but they both were saying who's the aggressor, okay? Each other was the aggressor. My sister's like, oh, you're lying. Like, that's not true. Like, you're mad because I said that my mother don't want me hanging around you anymore and this, that, and third. So she says, speaking of that, this is the lady, speaking of that, like, who the fuck does your mother think she is and this and this? I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Like, if my mother makes that request that she doesn't want her around you, then that's just that. Like, you are not, who the hell are you that you think that she's supposed to hang around you and not listen to her mother? So this girl is like, well, who are you supposed, this lady is like, well, who are you supposed to be? I'm like, I'm her sister. I'm her older sister. She's like, well, like I said, basically trying to say, I said what I said. Because, that slogan wasn't out by then. But that's basically what she was trying to say. I'm just like, so basically trying to say that to me, y'all. And I'm just like I said, my mother said she don't want my sister around you. So the woman is like, well, I'm a grown ass woman. And I'm just like, so am I. So the lady is like, you're a child and so is she. So Brandon is like, duh, like that's what we're trying to say. I asked this lady, y'all, this is all I said to her. How old are you? Like, how old are you? And she got mad and she went ballistic. This is no cap. If I wish I can get Brandon to sit beside me to tell this story. Or either Kay. She's like, how fucking dare you ask me my motherfucking age? I'm a grown ass woman. You don't have no right asking me my motherfucking age. A real woman don't never give her age. I'm like, lady, calm the fuck down. It's not that serious. All you gotta do is say, I'm not telling you my age. So y'all, I tell my sister, let's go, we out. This class. So my sister grabbed her bag and we walking towards the exit. This lady is behind us now. She's walking behind us on some Karen shit. She's walking behind us, and yes, she was black. She's walking behind us, and she's like, that's why I can't stand y'all young bitches. Y'all think y'all this, and y'all think y'all that, and this, and this. So I'm just like, lady, please go back to your class. Go back to the classroom before you get fucked up. Seriously. Who gonna fuck me up? Who gonna fuck me up? Me. Y'all, when I get to the door, she's got her phone. She's got her phone and she's trying to call. I don't know who she was trying to call, but she's trying to make a call. This lady grabs me by the, my hoodie. So Brandon is like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what you doing? And then it's like these Russian men outside. They standing there smoking cigarettes. So they looking loud because, like, we're loud. My sister is like, get off my sister. Get the fuck off my sister. I'm like, get the fuck off of me if I fuck you up. So she's like, make me get off you. Make me get off you. So y'all, I gave her a 2-piece with no biscuit and no drink. And no sauce on the side. No condiments. I 2-pieced her up. Okay? Boop, boop. She falls down on the floor, y'all. And she starts rolling. And she's heavyset too. So she's like, oh my God. Help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. She attacked me. She attacked me. So the Russian dudes, along with Brandon, they just like, no, you started it. You put your hands on her. She's like, no, I didn't. I'm just like, I'm out of here. I don't got time for this. I'm the fuck out of here. Me and my sister walking. Me and my sister Brandon and Kay, we're walking. And Brandon and Kay, it's like they go into their class. They don't want to be late. I told my sister go to her next, go to the other building where her class is at. I'm leaving campus because I already know how this is going to go. Y'all, before I can get to the exit of the motherfucking campus, it's a whole bunch of police. Campus police and then the NYPD. They're coming in to the gate. They're coming into the gate. I can see them coming in, so I'm like, all right, she called the cops on me. They're coming into the gate, and they're coming around. They're coming around this gate. It's like a roundabout. Y'all know how Kingsborough is, like a little roundabout. Something in the middle, like a fountain or, a little garden. They're coming around this. And I'm walking slowly. I called my mother. I'm just like, Ma, I just got into, a fight with somebody. And my mother was like, well, who? And I'm like, with this lady that you told, your other daughter to stay away from. My mother's like, what? My mother's at work now. So my mother calls my aunt because they was No Limit soldiers together. They was on the same soldier line. So my mother calls my aunt. My aunt is in the background. My aunt's on three-way. And I'm just like, yeah, I beat the lady up because the lady put her hands on me after she had put her hands on my sister. I checked the lady about it. The lady got mad because I asked her how old she was. The lady put her hands on me, so I beat her up in front of the exit of the building. And I think I might be going to jail. So my mother's like, what? Y'all, before I can explain any further about why I think I'm going to jail, the cop cars, the campus police, and the NYPD, they pulled up on the side of me. And the cop was like, stop right there. So I stops. And I'm like, for what? What did I do? What's going on? And so the NYPD comes out, and he's like, did you just attack, this woman down there? The lady gets out. The lady gets out of the campus. So they went and picked her up. She gets out. That's her right there. That's her right there, officer. Arrest her. I'm pressing charges. I'm pressing charges. So I'm just like, excuse me? She's like, I'm pressing charges on you because you attacked me. Look at my face. Look. My nose is bleeding and this, that, and the third. So I'm just like, so the cop, y'all, NYPD cop, he grabs my arm, this arm here, and he puts the cuff on. So he's telling me to put my phone down so he can handcuff me. Put your arms behind your back. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. If you taking me, you taking that bitch too, because she put her hands on me and she put her hands on my sister. My mother and my aunt is on the phone screaming to the top of their lungs like, what's going on? What the fuck is going on? Why is my daughter getting arrested? Hello, officer, Kane. Like, they just going in. So I'm like, I ain't even do like, I'm arguing with the cop, arguing with the campus police, y'all. The cop says to me, do you want to press charges on her because you said she hit you? I'm like, yeah. She going too. That. You might as well call for another motherfucking car because she's getting in one too and she getting cuffed too because she put her hands on me. I only retaliated. So y'all, the little Russian men that I told you was standing outside smoking a cigarette, they came walking up. They running up. And they was my witness. They was like, no, the lady hit her. She hit her. She grabbed her up at the door and she tried to get away from her and she hit her. So she's like, that's a lie. That's a lie. Y'all lying for her. So the Russian guy was like, I don't even know neither one of y'all. So why would I lie for her? I'm only saying what I saw. So now they go to handcuff this lady. This lady's falling out all over the place, y'all. Like, and she was heavy set. She wasn't small. She's falling down, like she's like sliding down on the campus police car like some slime. She's like, oh, I can't go to jail. I have kids. Oh my God, I'm having chest pains and all this bullshit. So I'm just standing there. I'm fully handcuffed now, okay? Because they had handcuffed me. I'm standing there, I'm fully handcuffed. The cop is talking to my mother on the phone. My mother and my aunt is like, they on their way up to the school. It was crazy. My sister standing there, my sister crying. She like, no, don't take my sister to jail. So y'all, that's the end of chapter 4. I'm going to tell you in chapter 5 what else happened, okay? That's the end because I'm hungry. Mama got to eat. So if you like this story time, if you like this episode of chapter 4, give this video a thumbs up and leave some comments below, okay? If you didn't like this story time or this episode number 4 and you are new to this channel, that means that you don't know the routine. The routine is, I don't give a damn. I don't care if you don't like this episode, but since you over here, hit that like button and get your ass up out of here. So wherever you at in this crazy ass world, because this world is crazy. I just watched the news today and I seen some crazy going on. Look to the motherfucker to the right of you and look to the motherfucker to the left of you and look to the motherfucker in front of you and tell them, don't forget. They gonna say, don't forget what? You gonna say, don't forget to tell a friend, 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 to tell another motherfucking friend that Mrs. Kane is on the motherfucking tube. Peace, I love y'all, and y'all be safe out there.
That's gonna come with top two, that's a joke you must